Maybe primarily because I believe that he stole the thing with the help of Democrat operatives and the mainstream media, okay? Well, I've seen some of the evidence, so have you, and also common sense tells us that the guy who ran this type of campaign, there's just no way that he got more votes than any presidential candidate in history. Primarily, I think it was the mail-in program, which Jimmy Carter, of all people, warned us was ripe for corruption. He did that about 15 years ago. So, any chance that Joe will grow into the role, suddenly become an honest, upstanding guy? No, of course not. He's 78 years old. Who Joe Biden is has already been determined. Got caught lying in the most spectacular way back in 1987, and he's still at it. Just this afternoon, a press conference. Wow. Well, you tell me. Let's look at the massive contradictions. Here's what Joe said, and this is what Joe is supposed to be good at doing. Listen to this.
My overarching objective is to unify this country.
Unify this country. Well, that sounds great. Sounds great. But like politicians everywhere, that's all they do. Say things that sound great. Because right after that, well, I think he revealed himself again to be just another phony politician.
To hear some of my colleagues, Republican colleagues, talk about how shameful it is of the way Ted Cruz and others are dealing with this, how they're responsible as well for what happened.
Do you think some of them should resign? Should Senator Cruz or Senator Hawley resign?
I think they should be just flat beaten the next time they run. I think the American public has a real good, clear look at who they are. The acolytes that follow him, like Cruz and others, they are as responsible as he is. And so it's not about whether or not they get impeached. It's about whether or not they can continue to hold power because of the disgust the American people have for their actions.
We don't have disgust for their actions. You see that right after he says he wants to unify the country, he's calling out Ted Cruz, Hawley. Yeah, sure, the swamp may not like these guys, but tens of millions of Americans admire those people in Congress, in the House, and in the Senate who stood up. The Constitution, the Electoral Count Act of 1887, this is within the law, allow for this. But look at the contempt that Joe and other members of the swamp have. Oh, he mentioned impeachment. Guess what? According to his public comments, he's basically giving Nancy Pelosi the green light to impeach President Trump again. Now, Joe has wanted to be a powerful person his entire life, and he's going to let this hysterical woman, we all remember this moment, he's going to let her try to impeach the president. He should have come out and condemned the crazy idea. Quite frankly, I don't think it's possible, but if it is possible, it should be stopped. That's not going to unify the country. Not at all. Not at all. And there's all this kind of stuff about the 25th Amendment. Nancy Pelosi, really? She's talking about the 25th Amendment, taking the president out before 2 weeks? Can you wait 2 weeks? Nancy, you're a joke. We know you're a joke. Joe, you have the power now to do something about this. You have the power to do something about this. But unfortunately, Joe, you're in the exploitation phase, aren't you? You just want to score more political points for your side. Nothing about unifying the country. And how your side right now is scoring political points, is blaming Donald Trump and Republicans everywhere for the horrible things that happened earlier this week. These people became a mob. Why they were lit on Capitol Hill the way they were? But listen to what Donald Trump said. This is not inciting a riot.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Peacefully, patriotically, make your voices heard. Now, I could not help but notice that the entire media political establishment, left-leaning political for us. So I've been thinking about this. You know, if CNN, if Donald Trump had won, I would have been happy. My preferred candidate would have won. I might have poked fun at some of the media who told us it was all over months ago, but I wouldn't have advocated for their cancellation. I wouldn't have targeted them. But that's what they're doing on the left to folks on the right. I want to show you something from CNN. These are two folks who work there, Brian Stelter and Oliver Darcy, they're not dumb guys, but they can be pretty vicious because now that their guy won, they're trying to cancel much of the media, raise questions. I want to put this up, and these are fighting words, big time. Take it full if you don't mind so I can read it. After Wednesday's incident of domestic terrorism on Capitol Hill, it is time that TV carriers face questions for lending their platforms to dishonest companies that profit off of disinformation and conspiracy theories. So people like Brian and Oliver, they're going to tell you what you can know. You know, we all have access to the same internet, okay? You don't have to be licensed to be a journalist, all right? They didn't go to some special school. They don't have access to some information or, you know, some notion that you don't have access to. This is all actually very, very equal. But there they are, and others like them, and Michelle Obama advocating for cancellation and kicking people out of society. That's scary, scary stuff, isn't it? And that's not what Joe Biden said he was going to do. Today, and when he launched his campaign.
I wrote at the time that we're in the battle for the soul of this nation. Well, that's even more true today. We are in the battle for the soul of this nation. I believe history will look back on 4 years of this president and all he embraces as an aberrant moment in time. But if we give Donald Trump 8 years in the White House, he will forever and fundamentally alter the character of this nation.
Joe, in a weird way, is always kind of confessing, okay? Fundamentally change the character of this nation. He's the one who wouldn't go on record about stacking the court, okay? Wouldn't tell us. Said we didn't deserve the answer during the campaign. That message was wild. It was just a few moments earlier when he lied about Charlottesville, saying that the president said that there were fine people among the neo-Nazis. He did not say that. It's the ultimate lie, and it's the very essence of his campaign. But he said some nice things there about our ideals. And let's talk about our ideals. What is supposed now really uncomfortable? You know, I got a message from my cousin Nancy, great woman. They said we were twins when I was growing up. We look so much alike. She wrote me just a few hours ago. She said she was very sad about the election results, but also very sad about what happened at the Capitol. And she sent me a link to a video, said, of a good friend of hers named Miriam. And Miriam had some concerns about what happened in the election. I clicked on the video, and this is what happened. I wasn't allowed to watch. Someone in Silicon Valley, some Democrat. What's happening here? Donald Trump is no threat. Yes, he was boisterous, he was colorful. I could see somebody being turned off by his tone, but it was a tonality thing. He wasn't doing anything of this. Barack Obama tried to lock up reporters. All right, I do have to say this, though, for the folks on our side who are very disappointed, as I am, about what happened. Yes, on Capitol Hill, but also inside the Capitol when we lost. Politicians are politicians. A lot of them are really flawed people. They're not special. And they're always trying to please somebody else, and they're always making false promises. Lindsey Graham, yeah, he let a lot of people down. That's what politicians do. They're hassling him at the airport big time, big time. These are Trump supporters calling him a traitor. I'm as frustrated as the next person, but this is not going to get us anywhere, okay? Can't do that. And just can't do it. Please, I know you're not doing it, but friends, whatever. I mean, and Donald Trump, I'm anxious to know what's going through his mind. They're trying to cancel him. They're not going to be successful. One of the reasons why I think they want to impeach him, that would, according to the law, I'm told, prevent him from running for president in 2024 if you're impeached twice. This is harassment, and he gave up so much for this country. I'd like to bring in Bruce Lavelle, Executive Director of the National Diversity